right, so this SPI Epoxy, here's the activator, and I got the primer right down here. You can't see it right now. It's mixed 1-to-1, and they, I can't remember how it's worded. I just read the book or whatever, the, what's it called? The instructions, the, you know what it's called. Let me go find it. Monday night in the Montana garage. Let's go get some work done. So, I'm not working on that thing anymore for a while. Anybody remember that I got a 55 Chevy? I haven't worked on it for so long, I almost forgot myself, but I'm gonna pull this thing out away from the wall and get back to what I was saying I was gonna do about, I don't know, 3 months ago. Let's get the inside of this thing cleaned up and ready for some primer. All right, so it's been a while since I worked on the 55, and I got a lot of new viewers and subscribers lately, so we'll do a quick refresher here of what we're doing. I've done a lot of work in here, replacing some floor pans, mini tubbing. I have a lot of videos, or a few videos on that. Maybe I'll try to link them up here somewhere. If not, just kind of scroll back through the channel and you can see what we did in here. But where we're at now is we need to get this bare metal covered up. And I'm going to do that with some epoxy primer. I'm going to use SPI. I've heard a lot of good stuff about that. I've never sprayed it, but we're getting ready to. So that's one. I've thought about just brushing this stuff. It'd probably be a little bit easier. But I need to practice spraying. I need to practice masking. And it'll probably look a little nicer. Not that it matters. Pretty much everything that gets primered is all going to be covered up. But anyways, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spray it. So we got to get everything in here cleaned out, get all this dust out of here. I'll probably take the gauge cluster off, and then obviously you got a ton of masking to do. The lid needs done as well. Everything is, you know, what I consider good enough-ish, I guess, as far as sanded and cleaned. There's still like a little bit of surface rust, but it's pretty good. I spent a lot of time wire wheeling and doing all that good stuff. So we'll get this cleaned up, get some masking paper in here, and then maybe tomorrow we'll spray some primer. Oh, also, I just want to mention that this is not a how-to video. I'm not trying to teach anybody how to do this, because if you watch for much longer past this point, you'll realize I don't know how to do it either. I'm making it up as I go, but I'm going to learn along the way, and we're going to try it even though I don't really know how to do it. That's the fun part. All right, so I kind of swept, kind of vacuumed, got the air out, made a huge mess again, kind of swept, kind of vacuumed, and I'm guessing I'm going to need to repeat that process, I don't know, a couple more times at least, because, you know, as you blow the air around, it gets just makes more dust and stuff fall, but we got it pretty good. I think I'll do the windows next to clean them off, and then, yeah, I'll probably do the air and sweep and vacuum one or two more times, try to get as much stuff out of here as we can. Again, we're not going for show car quality. Well, this will, the only kind of show car this is going to be is I'll show you where the car's at so you can come help me get it started or tow me home. Yeah, that's the only kind of show car this is going to be. Anyways, we'll keep chugging along. All right, so like I said, cleaning glass just so I have, you know, so the tape will stick better. I did not do a stellar job. I mean, you'll never be able to see it on here, but maybe you can hear. So that's what happens when you do all this welding and grinding and you're not very good about protecting your glass. I was pretty good at it at first, and then, I don't know, I just got lazy and you stop moving the paper or the cardboard around. I should have masked everything off, but at some point I just figured, well, I'm going to get new glass anyway. So yeah, it's pretty pitted up from all the grinding sparks. So yeah, don't do what I do. Don't be lazy. Protect your glass, people. Oh man, I just missed Moose jumping up into the car. Hit the button just a second too late. Let's go see what he's doing in there. Hope he's not pointing out stuff in there that's broken. What are you doing, Moose? Looking for mice in the 57? Looking for problems? I hope you don't find any in here. Say goodbye. All right, we're back. We're going back to work. You go back to doing cat things. Well, look at there. Even an old junk shell of a body looks better with clean glass. All right, we got her mostly cleaned out-ish. It's almost midnight, so I'm going to call it there. I just had a couple hours tonight, so we got her started. Tomorrow we'll come out and probably do the hosey, sweepy thing. Try to get as much dust out of the inside again as we can. And then we'll start throwing some masking paper on here. And depending how bad I am at that and how long that takes, we may get some primer on here tomorrow or maybe the next day. And we're back, as usual. It's not the next day, a couple days later. Supporting the Trifive mob out in the shop today because, well, because they're awesome. Awesome group of guys. It's Trifive Nats weekend, and I'm in Montana. I'm not in Bowling Green. A lot of the Trifive mob guys are either in Bowling Green or on their way there, as I assume some of the followers of my channel are also headed down there because it's a lot of Trifive guys here. I wish I was going. I was planning on going a couple years ago with this thing and drag racing and stuff, but it didn't happen. But next year, right? I always say next year. One of these cars will be in Bowling Green next year. Hopefully. Anyways, yeah, I almost hate to wear my nice Trifive mob shirt out here in the shop and get it all dirty, but maybe if I ruin it, Big Craig over there will just send me another one. What do you think, Craig? Just kidding. I'll go to the Teespring store and buy my own. And if any of you folks out there want some cool Trifive mob stuff, to be honest with you, I got the banner up there. I'm not sure if you got to be a certified Trifive mob member, dude, to have any of this stuff. But if you go to Instagram and follow Trifive mob and hit him up there on Instagram, he'll let you know. If you want some swag, he'll let you know where to get it and how to get it and if you can get it. Anyways, let's get some work done. Also, I know a lot of you guys watching this have your own YouTube channel, and you probably have your own cool shirts. If you'd like to see me wearing your cool shirt on my not so cool channel, I'd be glad to do that. Just send them my way. I'll wear the shirt on the channel. Try to send, 2 or 3 people over, maybe, if there's 2 or 3 people watching. And then someday, when I actually maybe have some shirts, I'll do the same for you. We can do the swappy, and you can send 2 or 3 people my way. Deal? All right, that's enough with the business. Let's get back to getting this inside ready to be primed. Where we left off, I'm getting ready to just do another once or twice of the blowgun vacuum sweep action until I can get as much crap out of here as possible. So I probably won't force you to watch that again. You already saw me do that. So I'll bring you back once she's clean and we will be ready to start applying some masking paper. So after a few more rounds of suck and blow, that reminds me of a game I used to play in high school. Easy now, it's just a card game. Anyways, we got her, you know, mostly clean and mostly ready, I guess. I mean, you know, in a perfect world, I got like a little bit of surface rust. It's all been wire wheeled, but a guy should probably treat that with something. But it's inside, so I'm not too worried about it. We're gonna mask off and spray some epoxy. All right, and I do have one of these masking paper machines or whatever they're called. Unfortunately, I cheaped out and bought pretty much the cheapest one I could get off Summit, and it's I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it probably really wasn't worth it. I mean, it works, but there's little springs in here to hold this paper in here, and it always just falls out, and the little adjustments are pretty chintzy, and so it's hard to keep the tape on the paper, at least for somebody like me that doesn't know what he's doing. But I mostly got it working. I just wanted to show you guys this. I don't remember the name of it. I think it was just Summit brand. Anyways, don't buy the cheapest one if you need one. All right, here we go. Might as well start with something easy, right? Well, let's just pick the inside of the driver's side door and see how bad I can be at this. I am most likely, you know what? I'm gonna use a little thicker tape right there just to cover all the rubber, but I am most likely gonna get new glass probably everywhere in this thing. As you can see, maybe you can't see, but that one's broken. I don't know if you can see that or not. But a kid threw a rock at it a long time ago. The back toe I already talked about. I got, you know, welding sparks all over them. You know, we got the kind of the little bubbles or whatever inside the vent windows. These probably got a little bit of welding stuff on them. They feel pretty good, but you know, just a lot of marks and whatnot. But until I get new glass, I don't want to just totally, you know, prime it and paint it. And I know I need to get the front and rear glass. Probably all the glass eventually will come out, but especially the front and rear glass, like I know I should just get that out of there and get it out of the way. But I don't have a good spot to put them, and so I figured where they're at's a good spot. Obviously, before I get doing the body work and getting in here, we'll get rid of the glass. But for now, we're just gonna try to tape it off the best we can. And the best we can may not be that great, but we'll try. One window down, and that probably was enough of a demonstration for you to know that I truly don't know what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out as I go. Like this first piece was too long and I thought it'd be best to fold it, but then once I fold it, you just got to use more tape up here to tape that down, so maybe it's better to cut it, fold it, cut it, I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go, but anyways, it's mostly covered somewhat good, I think. Let's go to the other side. So we got all the flat glass done. Those parts were pretty easy. I'm sure I didn't make it look very easy because, like I said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I think it's going to get a bit more challenging. The back window shouldn't be that bad, but the windshield, I don't know, just figuring out how to do the dash. I got some plastic for that, so we'll figure it out. But anyways, let's keep on moving. All right, so I was just trying to stick the tape on this rubber, and I did wipe it down, you know, when I washed the windows just with the glass cleaner, but it's got like some oily crap on it still. And yeah, let's be honest, I mean, this window is going to come out and this rubber is going to get replaced, so I think I'm just going to tape to the glass and ignore the rubber, means the tape won't stick to it. That'll be good enough, right? a semi-professional, just kidding, it's not even close to professional, but hopefully it's good enough. We got all the windows done. Got to figure out how to hang some plastic on this dash. I think I'll take my shifter or e-brake knob off of there, and then we'll grab some plastic, see if we can figure this out. I probably should just take all the trim off this dash and then not really worry about it, because it looks decent, but it'll probably get repainted. And then my problem is I watch too much of this other YouTube stuff, and then these 55 Chevys, probably 56, and I guess I could check 57, they have these seams in them. It's a one-piece dash, but this just must be how they, you know, manufactured them. Each side there's this little seam. And then I don't know if any of you guys, I know some of you do because somebody recommended it to me, if any of you guys watch Half Rod's Builds, I think it's called. Super cool guy that's building a super sweet 55 Chevy hardtop, and now he's working on a 4-door too. But I was watching some of his videos, and he, you know, welded and then smoothed those off, and it looks so much better. And now I feel like I got to do that. So thanks a lot, dude. No, I mean, this car isn't going to be anything like his car where he's building a super nice show car, but it's just those little things that are kind of cool. But I don't know if I'll take the time to do it or not. But I guess even if, whether I do that or not, the dash is going to have to get repainted. But I mean, if I just spray epoxy all over it, that's just more shit to get off it. So it only takes a few minutes to put some plastic on it. So I guess that's what we'll do. Alright, getting kind of dark in here, but I think I got it all masked off. Got the dash all covered in plastic. Everything I'm worried about down there taped off. I was going to put like a piece of cardboard or something in the hole between the inside and the trunk, but I'm not really worried about getting a little bit of overspray back there. I did throw a piece of paper right there. I was thinking about doing the trunk at the same time, because I just thought that'd be easier, but I got a little more sanding to do here, and I got some surface rust to treat, so I guess we'll do the trunk later. So like I said, I'm not worried about getting a little bit of overspray back there, I guess, so I'm going to leave that just like that. I think I'm down to, I got a little bit of dust and stuff again. Down to one more session of suck and blow, and then we'll start spraying some primer. All right, and I guess before you spray this stuff, you're supposed to wipe bare metal down with this waterborne wax and grease remover. I'm not gonna go super crazy, but I'll probably get some on a rag and kind of wipe up the big areas. You know, we'll wipe up as much as we can, I guess. And then I gotta figure out the best way to spray this. So obviously I can't spray the floor and walk on it, and we gotta do 2 coats with about a 30-minute flash time. So I think what I'm going to do, and I guess the other thing I should talk about is I probably should have had the door jambs ready also, but I'm not going to do the door jambs right now. We're going to shut the door and spray the inside. So we'll shut that door, spray the lid and all the walls, side walls, leaving this door open and not doing the floor. We'll wait our 30 minutes. We'll come back in and put a second coat on all of that stuff. And then we will do, then I'll shut this door, spray this door and the floor, wait 30 minutes, and again spray this door and the floor. So that's the plan. That's my plan. I don't know how somebody that knows what they're doing would do it, but that's how I'm going to do it. All right, so the SPI Epoxy, here's the activator. I got the primer right here. I got the lid off, so I'm not going to lift it up. It's mixed 1-to-1, and they recommend a 30-minute induction time, but they say it's not required. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it, and then I'm going to go back to the car and do my wax and grease remover while this stuff is doing its recommended induction time, and then we'll be ready to spray. So first thing they say is that this stuff separates. Anybody that's mixed primer knows that, but the epoxy they guess is worse. But look how pretty gunky on the bottom. So it says not to use a paint shaker, but to use a paint stick and stir it up really well. So that's where we're going to start with. Need to find a better way to set my camera up here, but anyways, there we go. Mix away. See how thick it is on the bottom. All right, so I'm just finishing mixing it up. Just not mixing the two components together, but just mixing it in the can. And it feels like it's pretty good. I don't have a bunch of big chunks on the bottom anymore. Oh, something right there. All right, feels pretty good to me. All right, so one thing I'm not super good at, being pretty new to this stuff, is knowing how much I'm gonna need. Seems like there's a fair amount of metal to cover in there. I don't want to waste a bunch of primer. But I don't know, I think I'm gonna make a full mixing cup, which is gonna be like a cup and a half on the paint gun. We'll start with there. If I have too much, you got like 120 hours to use it, so I can come out tomorrow and get the trunk ready or something. I don't think that's going to be too much, but again, I don't really know. So not always, but I got a brand new can of primer here, and the can's all clean, so I'm going to try to keep it that way. Let's see, I guess I already kind of got this one ready. So I put that tape on there, and it's supposed to help me pour this stuff without spilling it, but we'll see. Ooh, little label slides up and down. Freak me out. So I'm going to go, it's 1 to 1, so I'm going to go to 5 and then to 10. And with the 2K, I don't strain it first because it's so thick, but this stuff seems pretty thin, so I'm going to pour it through a strainer or try to. All right, getting close by the time it comes out of the strainer. All right, so how we do? Yeah, we're right on the 5. So that's good. I got the SPI activator. Mix 1 to 1. These were both brand new. Like I said, I've never used this stuff before, so we'll see how it goes. Ooh, now we're going to the 10. Bam. All right, mix that thoroughly, and then we're going to let it set for approximately 30 minutes. It says not required, but recommended. The reason I'm using this, I thought about using like Summit brand epoxy primer. It's a lot cheaper. That's what we used on my son's truck. But this is the stuff I plan on spraying on my frame. And I'm going to leave it as a top coat on my frame because it's not exposed to the sun. And so I want to practice spraying it, see how it all goes. So I'll spray the inside of the car. Well, basically the whole car is going to get sprayed with this eventually if it goes well. It's supposed to be good stuff. A lot of people have a lot of good stuff to say about it. So we'll find out how it works for me. All right, while the mixed epoxy is inducing, we're going to take some time to wipe this stuff down with some SPI waterborne wax and grease remover. That's what they recommend for bare metal. All right, just did a quick wipe down. better than nothing. Probably is about all I did. Should have probably been a little more thorough, but it is what it is for inside here, and we'll hope it works. Now we wait. All right, it's a moment of truth. Let's see how bad I can screw this up. I'm probably not going to film a lot of it because I don't want to get epoxy all over my GoPro, but I'll start with a little bit in here and see if you can see anything. It's dark in here. I got my fancy light. I'll probably be standing right in front of you. I think I got my pattern how I want it, so let's see what's going on. This is going to be stinky. And I'm going to be covered in epoxy. Alright, that's enough for you guys. Okay, that's one coat on most of it. Except for the floor. This door. Oops. I don't know, I think it's going pretty good. Like I said, I'm kind of new at this stuff. It's kind of hard to spray, like up under here, the gun with your handle and the filter. It's hard to get it up under there. I thought about just doing one coat because it's probably plenty, but I can see spots, you know, where I need to change the gun angle to kind of get, you know, into some other spots a little better. So, I don't know. I mixed up another batch of the same amount, so that should be enough too, because I had a little bit left. That should be a moose. You don't want to get in here. You probably want to go outside and not smell this stuff, goofball. Alright, so one more batch should do it, so I'm going to get rid of the camera again because there's a ton of overspray, and then I put a little more clothes on because the old arms were getting covered in overspray, and I'm going to be sticky for days. So yeah, let's get finished. Just got done putting the second coat on the door and floor, and yeah, I don't know, it's kind of dark in here, so I can't really tell how good or bad it is. Tell you what, it's hard to spray some of this stuff, you know, up in the air and down underneath these things with the long setup of that paint gun and the filter on there. It kept kind of hitting the floor or the ground or whatnot, but overall I think it looks pretty good. We'll have to see what it looks like when it dries. Hopefully I didn't miss too many areas, being I did the second coat. But I don't know, considering I don't really know what I'm doing, this is my first time spraying this stuff. I think it looks all right. There's a lot of, you know, you can kind of see, I don't know if there's either a lot of trash in it or, you know, that's just because the floors were kind of pitted. So, but it looks like there's just got to be quite a bit of trash in it. But like I said, it's all going to be covered up, so it doesn't really matter, just as long as it's all covered and protected. One more thing I forgot to mention with this SPI epoxy. I don't know if it's the same with all epoxies, because I'm not an expert by any means, but if you read the old tech sheet on this SPI epoxy, it's got to stay 65 degrees. So the metal, air temperature and the metal temperature has to be 65 degrees or above when you spray it, and for 24 hours after you spray it. So right now it's about 79 degrees. It's 10 o'clock at night, but it's still pretty warm out. That's what my phone says. The shop thermometer says, or thermostat, or thermometer says, you know, 74, 76, something like that. I actually bought one of these little, what do I do with it? These little laser doohickeys just for this purpose, so you can, you know, check the temperature of the metal. So 72 degrees right there. But in here where I sprayed it, that cools it off a little bit. See, so we're 64, basically, you know, pretty close to where we need to be right now already. And it is going to cool off a little bit tonight. So I'll probably, once that dries for just a little bit longer, I'll probably come back out, and being this is all enclosed in here, I'll just put a little electric heater in here, put it on low, and let it run a little tonight so it stays plenty warm inside the car where all the, you know, the epoxied metal is. And in theory, that's why I was starting to build this paint cocoon thing, and I never finished my little wall here, but the theory will be I'll, you know, put that other plastic there and then we can turn the furnace on. But it's not really cold enough for that yet. And I don't know, I probably would be okay with doing nothing tonight. It's gonna drop down to like 61 degrees air temperature, it says on my phone. So, you know, that's less than 65. And as you can see, the metal is already pretty much just a hair under 65. So I'll go in and get cleaned up, eat something. And before I go to bed here in a couple hours, I'll come back out and probably add a little bit of heat just to be safe. All right, I just got done cleaning up my paint gun and my little bench. I still have a little bit of stuff here to put away, a little trash to pick up. I got some stuff outside to move back in, but I think we'll call it right there for tonight. I got to get inside and try to clean myself up a little bit now. I had some gloves on when I started, but they disappeared, and then my arms are all sticky because I wasn't smart enough to put long sleeves on and all that overspray when you're spraying over the top of your head. Who would have thunk the overspray comes right down on top of you. And then it looks like I might have a little on the old face there too. Anyways, I guess that's all part of it. We'll come back out tomorrow once that dries and take a peek, and then we'll critique my work a little bit more, see how good or bad it is. And I'm sure I'll deem it good enough no matter how it looks, and we'll move on to something else.